There are people who do not simply remember the past. They live in it, not intentionally, not dramatically, but quietly, in the background of everything they do. For them, life is not a straight line. It is a circle. A loop of moments that return without warning, each one carrying a feeling that never learned how to fade. To others, they seem thoughtful, distant, or introspective. But inside, they are walking through two worlds at once. The world in front of them, and the world behind them that never truly ended. This is what it feels like to be someone who can't forget the past. A song brings back a version of themselves they no longer recognize. A place reopens an emotion they thought they buried. A quiet moment becomes a doorway, leading them back into memory with no effort at all. They can be laughing, working, talking, doing ordinary things. And suddenly a familiar ache rises in their chest. A scene plays behind their eyes. A voice echoes in their mind. A feeling returns so vividly it almost feels present. These memories don't arrive politely. They do not knock, or ask for space, or wait for the right time. They appear in the softness of morning, in the middle of conversations, in the silence before sleep. They appear when they look in the mirror and see not just who they are today, but every version of who they have been. For people who can't forget, the past exists like a shadow, not always visible, but always close. Sometimes the memories are warm, a moment they miss, a love they lost, a time when life felt simpler. But even these memories carry weight, because remembering them is also a reminder that things changed, that life moved forward without permission. Other memories feel heavy. A mistake, a disappointment, a moment of pain they still don't understand, a sentence someone said that carved itself into their self-esteem, a moment when they needed comfort that never arrived. They don't revisit these memories by choice. They revisit them because their mind holds onto the feeling inside them. The confusion, the guilt, the longing, the regret. To them, letting go feels dangerous. Like releasing the memory would mean the lesson disappears, or the identity they built around it dissolves. So they hold on. Not because they want to, but because they don't know how not to. Even in the calmest moments, their mind feels like a room filled with echoes. Every thought bounces off the memory of something older. Every feeling is shaped by something that came before it. Every fear has a familiar root. When they care about someone, the past reminds them of the times they trusted and were hurt. When they try something new, the past brings back the failures they never healed from. When they finally relax, the past whispers reminders of why rest once felt unsafe. It's not obsession. It's not avoidance. It's not weakness. It's memory woven into identity. Some people remember because their heart never got closure. Some because the moment was too powerful to forget. Some because the emotion attached to it was never resolved. And some because their mind uses memory as a shield, a way to protect them from repeating pain. To forget feels like betrayal. To move on feels dishonest. To let go feels like losing a part of themselves. So they carry the past softly, silently, like a weight under their ribs. They smile. They function. They continue forward. But a piece of them remains anchored to something that once mattered deeply. This is the quiet truth of people who can't forget the past. They are not stuck. They are not broken. They are simply connected. to moments that shape them so deeply that their mind refuses to treat them as distant. They live in the echo. People who can't forget the past don't choose to remember. Their mind chooses for them. It begins earlier than most realize. Not in adulthood, not in heartbreak, but often in childhood. In the quiet spaces where emotional patterns silently form. The roots of remembering are not dramatic. They are subtle, soft, almost unnoticeable when they first take shape. A child who grows up in uncertainty learns to pay attention. They memorize patterns to protect themselves. The sound of footsteps, the tone of a voice, the shift in the air before something changes. Their brain becomes trained to hold on to details, because details once meant safety. A child who wasn't heard learns to hold on to emotions alone. They store everything inside. Every disappointment, every rejection, every small hurt. Because there was no place to put it. No one to help them make sense of it. No moment where someone said, "It's okay. You can let this go now." So they didn't let go. Some children grew up too fast. They carried responsibilities that should never have been theirs. When you learn early that mistakes have consequences, your brain stops allowing you to forget. It stores every failure as a warning, every embarrassment as a lesson, every painful moment as evidence of what must be avoided. For others, the roots are quieter still. A gentle wound, a silent expectation, a love they craved but never received fully. Sometimes the moments that shape memory are the ones that seem small from the outside. A parent emotionally unavailable. A sibling who overshadowed them. A friend who left without explanation. A teacher whose words stuck deeper than intended. Children do not forget because they don't know what to do with the pain. And so the mind keeps it. Even the warm memories hold power. Some people remember because the past was better than the present. A time when they felt safe, or loved, or hopeful. Their mind keeps returning to it, trying to understand why that version of life faded. In all these cases, the root is the same. Memory became a survival tool. The past becomes something the mind clings to because it believes it must. The brain is not the enemy. It is simply doing what it was taught to do. If a person grew up in chaos, the brain remembers to prevent danger. If they grew up unseen, the brain remembers to validate their feelings. If they grew up carrying emotional weight alone, the brain remembers to help them make sense of it now. And if they grew up losing something important, the brain remembers because forgetting feels like losing it twice. People who can't forget the past often blame themselves. Why can't I move on? Why does this still bother me? Why am I stuck in old memories? But the truth is far softer. The mind holds on because it once had to. Every memory that returns carries an emotional reason behind it. A reason that is often invisible until later in life. Like realizing only as an adult that your childhood was not as light as you thought. Or that a moment you dismissed actually shaped your entire sense of self. Some people remember because their heart is still seeking closure. Some remember because they never got the chance to process the moment when it happened. Some remember because they felt alone in it. And some remember because their identity was built around surviving something difficult. And survival memories are the hardest to release. The roots of remembering are emotional, not logical. They are human, not flaws. They are learned patterns. not personal failures. People who can't forget the past are not addicted to memory. They are connected to experiences that shaped their beliefs, their attachments, their fears, their expectations, and their understanding of themselves. The past doesn't return because it wants to hold them back. It returns because something in that memory still feels unfinished, unprocessed, or misunderstood. Their mind is gently saying, "Something here still matters." And that is where healing begins. Not in forcing yourself to forget, but in understanding why your mind refused to let go in the first place.